Hey everyone, Kai here. Today I'm going to be watching the 24th and final episode of Mushoku Tensei Season 2. And yeah, a little bit nervous, excited about this episode because this should be the big homecoming for Rudy. He's bringing Roxy along with him. You know, she'll get to meet up with Sylphie. We'll get to talk about her being the second sword. We'll probably get to see the baby. There's just a lot of potential that could happen with this episode. So I'm pretty eager to just jump into it, but hopefully we get season 3 not too long afterwards, because the story's got to continue, man. That's all I'm saying. So, but actually, do we even know the gender that the baby is supposed to be? I can't remember. Either way, we should find out in this episode. So, like I said, let's just jump on in, check it out. 3, 2, 1, play. Pretty calm, quiet beginning. And there's our gang. The real question is, has the baby been born yet, or are we going to get there first? I'm not sure quite how the timeline works out. Oof. You're making me nervous, man. We lost a father, we lost a hand. We're not losing anything else. Not today. I don't like how quiet it is. Yeah, this is way too quiet. Rudy's definitely assuming the worst. I'm not gonna panic too much, because I don't think the show would do that much more to make Rudy suffer. Oh, I recognize that hair. Yeah. That's a bit of a surprise for her. Who is that? Oh, wow. That Sylvie has a... She's still pregnant. So yeah, it does look like we were worrying for nothing. Which is good. Yeah, finally he can breathe that sigh of relief. And yes, I missed you. What a great wife she is. Left her alone with a baby in her belly all that time, and she's still happy to see us. Now the gang's all here. Are we gonna get an open? I don't think we did. Probably gonna skip it this time. Yeah, we got a lot of people here. Yeah, we definitely need to talk. There's a lot to talk about, sadly. That's just part of the life. And yeah, Reed did not come out unscathed himself. Be right back. Pretty much. On the bright side, we found Roxy. God, I don't know how much more of this I can take. Remember, this was the girl that got mad at Rudy for attacking her dad and just. Well said. A little bit heavy, huh? What's she, Is there anything going on in there? Like, I want to believe there's some memories in there somewhere. I suppose it would, yeah. And we can talk about that later. So much head nodding in this scene. Come to mommy. Oh, there we go. God, so many emotions in this one scene. And Roxy. We do gotta get into that at some point, surely. And there they go. Yeah, time for important discussion number 2. I wonder if she has some idea of what the subject would be. And I guess they're gonna be here for this too. Okay. Right out with it. No beating around the bush. I can respect that. Roxy did good. Yes. Because, I mean, no matter what Sophie says here, he did do it with another woman, without permission. So that's gotta be some guilt there. I'd rather not think about it. You make it sound much worse than it is. But she wasn't. Yeah, we already talked about that earlier. She's a lot older than you are. She's a lot older than you are. I'm sure she does. Man, this is getting really heated. Don't leave, Roxy. Come on, Rudy, don't let her leave like this. Was that Sylvie? Yeah. So don't leave, I haven't given my answer yet. I could use another movement around to help with the child. Shush, Norn, this is between them. Yeah, there was a lot to be thrown at you all at once, so understandable. Man, Sylvie's such a good girl. Right. I think I talked about that before. Judicial. Just be glad I didn't do it with Elena Lisa. That is a big deal. This is nice. I'm really digging this scene. This interaction. So this is our first meeting, okay. I'm glad I got confirmation on that. There we go. Wife number 1 accepts wife number 2. I knew Sophie would be this way. She's the best. No one's gonna clap. I like how I could tell there was no one just from the like the grunts, but what do you want to call it? Reminded of a certain redheaded girl all of a sudden. Respect his religious beliefs, please. Yeah, remember you have a sister from a different mother. Tell her. Yeah. Good question. We don't have a lot of time in the episode left. Get that baby out. I mean, fair enough. And then we put a baby in Roxy. Really living the good life. Staring at his 2 beautiful wives as his 2 little sisters run around and play. Oh, wait, wow, we're actually doing it. Out of context, I wouldn't believe that was a giving birth Sylphie there. I think it was something else, but anyway. That's... I mean, would that have been a bad thing? She basically has Rudy's hair, yeah. I can't believe just the baby's born literally with an okay. But there we go, Rudy's first child. It looks so much like him. And it says her, so yeah, I guess we are saying it's a girl. I know it's just a subtitle thing, but I'll take it for now. There you go, they actually went through that quicker than I thought they would. I really do want to just check out the light novel so scenes like take longer, or are more depth. Because some things I feel they just probably go through quicker than they should, just to get through things. Okay, we confirmed it there. Oh, Nanako. Just girls everywhere. Lucy. Lucy Grey Rat. Never thought I'd see that sentence back in the day. Could you imagine marrying either of those people? That's probably for the best. Well said. Music. But that's life. Still hurts just having Paul gone. Actually gave me chills. Oh, is that? Oh, that's her. That was Eris, right? There's no other red-haired girl in this show, right? I just want Eris to show up again, back into the, meet up with Rudy again. There's so much to ask. And our big family. What's left of it? Is it gonna be an ED or? Oh, wow, that picture. Oh, that's not fair. Why would you do that? Oh, that was cool. They just made the 2 into a 3 for a season 3 announcement. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that was awesome. Okay. But yeah, that was the 24th and final episode of the second season of Mushoku Tensei. I'm glad they confirmed the season 3 before it was over in a pretty cool way. I quite like that. But yeah, this final episode, I mean, it was pretty much what I expected. We got back home. Luckily, nothing bad had happened. Rudy was pretty worried about that. I was getting a little bit worried about that, but I wasn't like too worried about that because although this show is not afraid to have dark, depressing stuff happen, it doesn't like overdo it, if that makes sense. So I didn't think they would. I don't think he would lose Paul, lose his hand, lose Sylphie or whatever. Like he was not. I mean, he was never gonna lose Sylphie. Let's be honest. But like, I didn't think there would be like another tragedy added on top of that so soon. I feel like that would just be too much. So I wasn't too worried, but I was a little worried, if that makes sense. But yeah, luckily, it was all good. He searched the house. He finally found someone. He learned everyone's okay, and then everyone else got to come in too. But yeah, the Rocky stuff was mostly what was on my head, so I didn't. So it took a second for me to realize that, yeah, the conversation we probably needed to have first was the one about Paul, and yeah, that would explain the atmosphere of the room. Norin took it pretty hard, like even though Aisha, it was her father too, but Aisha's always been that one that's like tries to be mature, calm, cool, collected, like kind of pushes herself too hard in that regard. Uh, but so Norn was kind of the one to really have the emotional outburst, and it was painful. Like that just went right through me, especially when like the crying got really powerful near the end there. Like it was so well done to hurt me. Uh, but it's like I said, Norn, like one of the first interactions we had with Norn was Rudy being pissed off at Paul and attacking him, and Norn's like, stop hurting my daddy and all that. And now we had Rudy, who she'd eventually, finally made up with, leave to go to Paul and then come back, let him tell her that Paul's dead now, right? Like, you can only imagine what would be going on in her head after an announcement like that. So there was just a lot of Norn yelling this episode, because we had the more sad emotional stuff in this segment. Then we had more of the mad scolding kind of stuff later in regards to the Roxy stuff. So Norn definitely played an important role in this episode. I would say kind of the I don't want to say the voice of reason, but just like what's the best way to put it? Just the one to point out the abnormality of it. I guess it's sort of the same thing, but yeah, you know what I mean. She just kind of has that role, so that it's not just like, "Yep, that's a great idea. Let's do this." They needed to have some kind of voice of opposition for it. So I guess so. Norn, I guess, had a pretty important role with the Roxy thing there, but we saw a little bit of the mother. Like, I mean, we had a scene with her where she grabs some of the what would you call it? Like gauntlet? Is that the right word? Some of the armor, right? And kind of just more or less embracing it, right? So I'm not quite sure how to take that. Like they say that she doesn't have memories anymore. This could be one of those things where it's like you don't have memories in your brain, but you have whatever the heart equivalent of memories are. Like sometimes anime will do that. Like I shouldn't remember this, but I still feel something towards it. That sort of thing. Like it's a bit of an anime trope that might be what they're doing here. Maybe she doesn't remember Paul, but the feelings she has for him as her beloved like remain in her heart somewhere. And maybe that could be a catalyst for something. I don't know. I don't want to reach too much, but that's the only really way I could take that scene. I'm still hoping we could do something here to help her. Like hope in season 3, she's at least talking again. Like even if we can't get back any old memories, I want her to. I want to be able to interact with her. I want Rudy to talk to her, even if she doesn't know Rudy, like remember him. I at least want her to understand that that's her child and be happy to be with him. I don't know. Just it's her seeing her like this. But and that was just, and we had a nice little mother daughter thing between Aisha and Lilia. That was good too. But eventually everyone left and we kind of just had to have the Roxy talk, right? And I was definitely a little bit nervous about how this would go. Because, yeah, let's lay down the facts here. Rudy left, right, to help out the mother and his father and stuff like that, while his wife was pregnant, right? He comes back with one less hand, another girl that he had sex with, and asking for this girl to be a second wife. Sophie, who's been waiting here all this time, we're worried about Rudy, missing Rudy, wanting Rudy to come back, being all lonely without Rudy. That's what comes home to her, right? So I definitely feel for Sophie. Like Norn's perspective is perfectly valid. I get her complaints, but I also love Roxy a lot. So I'm just gonna be on that side of things, no matter what logic or reasoning you try to throw at me. I'm on board with getting Roxy as a part of things. But I am glad that when Roxy was starting to leave, Sophie was the one that really stepped up, because it makes sense that during the bulk of the scene, Sophie was quiet, not really participating much. Norn is just by her nature more reactionary, more knee jerk, reactionary, right? So she did that, but Sophie really had to like just process all this and give a mature adult response to the situation, right? So once Roxy started to actually leave, it became clear to her that now or never if I'm gonna speak up and you know to decide what I want to do with the situation. And she did. She told Roxy to stop and kind of explained her thoughts on it, and basically saying that she's okay with it, right? And she invited her into the fold. So I did like the mentioning of how you're the only mage he looks up to and all that good stuff. It was really nice interaction between the two of them. You know, because some women, they would take it poorly when the guy brings another girl home to be the second wife. Like Kanojo Mo Kanojo, even though Kanojo number one, girlfriend number one, eventually agreed to let girlfriend number two stay. It was not an easy one. There was a lot of yelling and screaming, and it was not easy. Whereas Sylphie was just took a bit of a period to sort things out in her head, and then just agreed to it, right? So Sylphie is definitely a keeper, that's for sure. And Roxy, you know, trying to be respectful, thoughtful, considerate. I think that's the word I'm looking for. In her own way, they're waiting for the baby to be born to be officially married. But I think when Rudy went to the grave, he said they were married. So I think by the end of the season, they're officially married. I'm going to assume that they got it all taken care of by then. Because it's sometimes hard to tell how much time is passing unless they put on big text on the screen like 3 months later, which they didn't do. So I just kind of have to assume here and there. But yeah, Norn just charged at him with the sword. It really did remind me of Eris, like, because I remember that back in the day with the sword training. Eris was always more talented with that, more geared towards that, whereas Rudy is always more of a mage boy. Like, he learned a little bit of swordsmanship because his daddy was a great sword fighter and all that, and it's good to know, at least on a basic level, how to handle a sword. But yeah, it was never something he was particularly great at. So, but even at this point in the story, could you imagine how good Eris is? I mean, damn. Got a little bit of good sister on sister fighting kind of stuff as well between Aisha and Norn. I enjoyed that. Just kind of chasing each other. And then we actually had the birth scene, right? It was pretty abrupt, but we went into it. We just see, hear some baby crying. Aisha in front of the hot water. A very nice shot with Roxy and Norn, which I'm definitely going to screenshot. But now that we did that, it's just all the way out. Then we transition over to Sylphie with Rudy obviously holding her hand, heavy breathing, tears in the eyes, hair disheveled, blushing. Like, seriously though, if there wasn't the baby's crying sound effect, I would just think she was getting just pounded by Rudy. You know, that's what I would have thought. So, just throwing that out there. I'm not saying that was hot AF, but it really was. But anyway, the baby got born, which is good. Has Rudy's hair for sure. Rudy's ahoge as well, confirmed to be female. So, and we officially have Rudy's child number one. Not going to be the only one, because we're going to have one with Roxy, for sure. A cute blue-haired girl. And then eventually, we'll hunt down Eris, get our red-haired baby girl with wife number 3. That's how it's going to go. Don't tell me otherwise. And then the 3 girls will play together and be best friends, and we'll have a spin-off where they all go to school together as classmates. It'll be slice of life anime. It'll be great. Really moe. That's my headcanon. Don't argue with it. And then we kind of ended off with just a really just heartfelt scene between Rudy and Paul's grave, you know. And just like, I mean, I don't really have too much to say about that, but it really just does a good job of showcasing Rudy's growth. I especially like the one line. Wonder if I could find it. Yeah, I finally get it. Just a brat using old memories to act grown up. That's such a great way to put it. Because when he was a child, he utilized his old memories, his experiences, as kind of like a buff for him here, right? But although that definitely helped him, for sure, gave him some advantages, he also wasn't really a proper grown-up in that world, which I'm sure at this point he's more than well aware of, right? He was a good-for-nothing, just sit at home, do nothing but indulge in all this stuff, ignored everything else, like not live a real life, not having no respect for responsibilities that he should be doing, right? So calling himself a grown-up is just not accurate. He just kept aging, essentially. So, but this world, he actually is far more than his other self could have ever imagined, becoming an adult and really building a life for himself here and growing as a person day by day. So it's just really good stuff to showcase that here. Because Paul was always in an odd position with Rudy because he was a child, but he also had another world's memories to kind of influence him. So as a father that's not even aware of that, how do you best be a father to a child like that? So he was always, and this was his first child, right? So he was always had a rough time a bit as a result of that, but I think he did pretty good in spite of things for sure, considering the way Rudy's turned out to be. But and we got that shot of Eris, right? Because I was about to make it during that scene. I was about to make a comment like, "Hey, you ever seen all these random characters that are a part of the show, even though we haven't seen them for a bit because they're not relevant to what's happening currently?" But that's what happens when you have a big, wide scope show, you know. But then we just see Eris, you know, with her beautiful red flowing hair, like a cool sword, like right behind her lower back, right? Just wearing a skirt, staring off into the distance, probably on a cliff or something. Some nice little flowers over in the corner. I got to imagine we're gonna be getting some Eris in season 3. Like we had, I don't think any ever in season 2, right? Like even part 1 of season 2, I don't think we got any Eris. Like I think we haven't had words. I think we had an OBA, right? I think that was one where we met Cliff that also involved with Eris. But as far as actual season 2 goes, she was obviously relevant in Rudy's head because he still thinks about her, right? But she never actually showed up. So season 3, she's got to show up, and she'll be so surprised how much has happened. You know, she went from taking Rudy's virginity to like he's got a baby now, he's got 2 wives now. Like she missed a lot by just being gone, you know. But but yeah, I'm sure Rudy still misses her a lot though, and will happily invite her to be wife number 3. But But yeah, as far as season 2 goes, I thought it was pretty great. You know, like some parts could be called slow, especially the academy stuff, right? Because he went from this big open adventure, being teleported all around, trying to find her family, to just like sitting out of school for a while. That certainly was kind of jarring, the difference between that for a while. But you know, the second part of the second season kind of really ramped things up with going on this big adventure and everything, reuniting with Roxy. So yeah, overall, I'd say season 2 was pretty good. I still probably prefer season 1 overall, even though season 2 I think did elevate itself with part 2 and everything like that. I still think if I had to like put them next to each other, I think I would still prefer season 1. We'll see how season 3 goes, but it's all good though. Make no mistake. But I think that's all I really had to say on the show though. So thank you for watching, and hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.